Hello, hello, hello. It is the DM podcast. I know some of y'all have missed us. It's the DM podcast, episode number 10. Like I said, y'all missed us. It's your boy Mike. I got my boy YS. How is everything going?
Every day above ground. You already know.
I'm glad to hear. Same with me. We just finished, it's a little later at night. We just finished watching the Raptors go into double OT
Hmm.
with the OKC Thunder. I did not even think it was going to double OT. So when a game goes to double OT, I got to give the Raptors a couple claps. Like, you know what? You fought. Even though you were up 23 at one point. You're up 23. So
Best thing.
I don't want to give you too much claps, but I want to appreciate what they've done and what they did. So couple claps, the Raptors, and we'll get to the Raptors. But today's podcast, we will talk about the scoring like barrage that we've seen with a bunch of players. We're going to talk about also the fact that the 65 game, which basically leads us to Embiid, and we'll talk Embiid, especially with the latest news that just came out. And of course, we're going to talk some Raptors. I've noticed a lot of discourse with Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam. Kind of want to talk about that. Talk about RJ Barrett because I have an RJ Barrett take, which I feel like I may have said last pod, but it's just been brewing in me recently about RJ Barrett that I just feel like I have to shed some light on. And yeah, talk some more Raptors. But first and foremost, we will talk about the latest news from the world of NBA, and that is about Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid got hurt against the Warriors when Kaminga fell on his leg. Some would say I think some were complaining that Embiid was playing that game, but we just saw Embiid miss a couple other games already. And so I know that they wanted him to play. But did you see that injury?
I didn't see what actually happened. What actually happened? Like, how did he fall on his leg?
He they were going for a loose ball, and then Kaminga and Joel were going for it. And then eventually Kaminga just sat on his leg, and his leg hyperextended.
Oh, one of those injuries. Okay.
So
Okay.
because of hyperextended, obviously this is what Woj said. I'll go for verbatim what he said. 76er star Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP, will undergo a procedure this week to repair a left meniscus injury. A team official tells ESPN the recovery timeline is expected after the procedure, but expected is that he will miss an extended period of time. Yeah, there's been multiple reports that he's going to miss multiple games, like multiple games.
It's just one of
And
those
he
things, man.
may there was I read something real quick, but I think it could have just been like a spam thing. I'm not too sure that there's potential he may not come back until maybe the playoffs. So, what's your thoughts of all this?
First and foremost, man, the Sixers, they're going to be sliding a little bit without Embiid. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I mean? Guys down harder now. Max has to carry the load. Tobias Harris is Tobias Harris.
Right?
I mean, and I don't know who else they got on Philly, man. How I feel,
Melton, they have
yeah, Shake Milton.
they don't have the best bench. They don't have the best bench.
It doesn't sound like it. You know what I mean?
So
So they're gonna slide, right? They're gonna definitely lose momentum going into the offs, right? Because with Embiid, you guys the chemistry, right? Now Embiid has to work back in. If he really comes back playoffs, how many months is that? A couple months he's missing.
yeah,
So you know how it is. You're trying to come back to a sport after you haven't played in a couple of months, and you have to, and come on, it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be an adjustment. He's out of the MVP race officially, right?
he'll be out. He's done.
Done. Because before it was like 6 games you had to miss, and then or something like that. Now it's out the window.
Definitely out the
So
window.
it's between Joker and Shea, right?
I think it's gonna go to Shea. It just I think it's gonna lean more to Shea.
Yeah.
I don't right now. They're like the number one seed in the Western Conference, but they're tied with Minnesota and technically kind of tied with the Clippers. But Nuggets are also like 0.5 from first place as well. So it's not like it'll be a tight race between Shea
Oh,
and
what
and them.
about is it fair that we just really have only MVP, the top MVP runners from the West? What about the East?
There's no, people have talked about Giannis is having quietly a good season. We don't have this on the rundown, and we can talk about this guy, but Donovan Mitchell should be definitely considered as an MVP candidate because what he did after Garland and Mobley left, they've had a better record. They're actually 9-1 in their last 10, won the last five. Donovan Mitchell in the last, I was looking at the standings to even look where Philly is. Let me see where even Donovan Mitchell is the last five games because he's been balling.
He's been balling, huh? Man,
Donovan Mitchell's definitely been balling. So I want to give him some love. In his last,
shout out to the land. Shout out to the land.
this is looking good. In his last 10 games, he's 29.2. 29.2. This is his last five games. 31
The
points.
Cavs really are, yeah, they're
Yeah,
right there.
31, 25, 45, 28, 32.
The Cavs are balling, yeah,
They're
yeah,
balling. You
yeah.
know, they've been really good. See, so it makes you kind of think like he should be spoken about more. He's not. He eventually will be spoken about more. We would all believe. But yeah, so with it being missing, let's look at when we look at the standings,
I'm seeing it and it's looking kind of shaky without Embiid.
right? Because they're right now they're
Already they're
fifth,
close to Indy. Already it's like a 2.5 games from Indy, right? And Indy, Indy's shaky, but they can string together a couple wins here and there.
and they will because Halliburton is still on a minutes restriction.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think I've always said Indiana has the potential because they still have a bunch of young guys to make a trade. I know Brooklyn doesn't want to do this trade, but I'm gonna keep calling it out. Mikal Bridges and you trade him for maybe a salary, and then you probably trade him for Buddy Hield, and then you go Matherin Nemhard or Matherin and Jarris Walker. Now Brooklyn can tell themselves we have two young pieces for the future, and the Pacers can give them a first round draft pick in 2028. But then you have a team of Halliburton, McHale, and Pascal. To me, that's really good. I think that could
That
be
works. That works. That could really put Indy to me as well. Top five in the East next season.
easily, easily. I
Yeah.
think that team, if they can keep a Miles Turner, if Philly doesn't get nobody, I would think Pacers are better than Philly. I would think they're better than like
On paper, but Philly to me is yeah.
it's an idea with Philly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really comes from it. Only Boston. Boston's the only team we can all consistently say is a good team.
Top to bottom, Boston is the best team in the East. Top to
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah, I think they're arguably the best. Well, I'll always respect the team behind me in Denver. So it really goes Denver and Boston to me, and then everybody else. I think
Yeah,
Boston's just when they care about winning, I think they can beat most teams. But
100.
it's also regular season. I part of me feels like Boston reminds me of the like back in the day Raptors that like regular season just came easy to them. Like,
Oh, in that sense, yeah, because they make deep runs in the offs. But
yeah, that's true. Definitely true.
I know this is kind of off, but Crispy, KP, I feel like he could really, that really helps Boston, especially in the offs. That
It does.
7-2 to shoot threes. When you have Brown and Tatum getting double, I feel like that's really going to help them in the offs. But it's another story. You already know.
Yeah, that's hopefully he plays. But yeah, now with Philly, right? I think a lot of people thought that Philly was going to make some moves for potentially getting a Bruce Brown. Potentially, some people were talking about a Caruso or a DeMar DeRozan. I'm not sure from Philly I'm making any moves now. With Embiid out,
What moves can you make with Embiid out, though?
it doesn't make sense,
Exactly.
right? Especially because you're gonna have you'll have the ability to sign a big guy, a big free agent, if you have the potential, or do another trade, or sign multiple guys
Yeah.
next year, so you can pair them with Maxi and Embiid. But it just doesn't seem like it would make a lot of sense. If you agree, you wouldn't make drastic moves. You would just kind of keep it as status quo.
What's the point of making drastic moves right now in Philly? You got your big man out, your big star out. You want to build around what you have. And how are you going to build around what you have when the main guy is not there? So you're just going to be
Right.
adding a piece, and you're not going to know how it's going to work out with your main guy for months. and then go into the playoffs to try to get the chemistry, it doesn't even make any sense.
And
And
Embiid is not a type of guy that like, yeah, he can start off well, but playoff times, we already know Embiid during playoff. You're putting this guy in the playoff. I don't know. I don't know. I think that looks kind of tricky.
very so.
So it doesn't make a lot of sense. So yeah, we both said we can both see Philly dropping down a lot. But the thing is, Nick Nurse is a good coach, and Maxey has been really good this season.
He's been balling.
Right? He can almost win the most improved player just for the fact that Embiid is gone. He can really just step up, increase his numbers, and like just show out.
Which he will. Which he will.
Right? But then you're also asking, you're asking Tobias Harris now to go from being your third to being your second, and you need like consistent what would you say, like 22, 25 points from him?
He said Tobias Harris is not going to step up nothing. He's just going to be doing the
Wow.
same thing. You look at Maxey and the other guys on the squad to be stepping up and doing a little bit more. But Tobias, he's if his numbers go up in the next 2 months, I'll be surprised.
The guy that I would look to, I'm looking at their team, and so Embiid averages 35 points a game.
What's his
Maxi
name?
averages
35?
26,
It's
35.
35, huh?
Yeah, he has some stats that are close to Wilt.
Damn,
Yeah,
35. Okay.
he's been balling.
He was
He's been
averaging a
balling.
little less than 35. But
Yeah,
yeah,
very good. Maxi's 26. Tobias is pretty much 18, which is not bad.
it's
It's
not.
18. Kelly Oubre is 13, and Melton is, I'm sorry,
You
I
got
didn't know.
Uber. Okay, Uber is gonna. Uber is a dog. Uber is a dog.
Right.
He's
So to me, that's the guy I'm asking to like. Kelly Oubre averaged 20 points last year.
yeah, he's a dog. He's a
He averaged
dog.
20 points. So I'm asking Kelly Oubre, like, hey, Maxi's gonna now turn into my pretty much by like 28 to 30 point guy with
Maxi will do that. Yeah.
right. And now I need Tobias to give me at least 20. Like he's averaging 18. He can give me two more. But now I'm asking Kelly Oubre to give me 20
Uber, I feel he's gonna get it. He's gonna average 18.
while Embiid's gone.
Yeah, he's gonna
And
average
and,
18,
and
which is legit. You're going up 5 points on average. It's pretty legit, right?
I didn't
So,
know Oubre started 25 games out of the wow, he started a lot of the games
and
for
he's
this
a
season.
defender. I like Uber. I love Uber still.
Yeah,
I
when
like.
he's trying, he can be really good. When he's
Yeah,
trying, he
yeah.
can be good. Yeah, I would easily. I get what you're saying. I'd almost. He can be a more consistent shooter than Tobias, but Tobias has more skill. Like
Tobias,
Tobias has,
there's more dog in Uber.
yes. So
Tobias,
that's what you're almost hoping. Like Maxi, you're the guy. I need Kelly and Tobias to do a bunch of other things, but I don't know who else I'm looking at to like.
who's the other bigs on the team that's gonna really get more minutes now? Who's their
They
third big?
they label Paul Reed as a small forward, but I'm pretty sure he's like a big, like a power forward.
Mm.
Batum's there. He's their power forward, I guess. But Batum is Batum. He's not there to score
He's the
points.
utility guy. He's just like batty
Yeah,
energy. Like I'm gonna play defense, make that extra hockey assist pass, hit the corner three.
you
You
could
know,
ask Patrick Beverly to score a little bit more.
Beverly
Uh,
is he's that dog, but he's not scoring more. He's averaging what, probably like 7, 8 points maybe. I want to say.
yeah. Which Marcus Morris? Which is senior the one that can score? Or is it the other
I think
one?
this is the one that's not as good. I think the better one's on the Clippers.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too, right? But which is crazy. How do they have the better one?
Clippers is just loaded, man.
The thing is,
They got three
see,
MVPs, ex MVPs on the
from
squad.
what I know about their stats have been like they've flopped, they've like switched in stats. No, I think this one could be the scorer one because and with New York, he averaged 19 points a game.
Okay, then I got it mixed up. This is the better one. I'm
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah, so this is the better one. Yeah,
Okay,
and then like, and it's only gone down because of course the quality of talent he's played with. Because that
yeah.
was he averaged 19 and oh he didn't really play in 2019, which is fine. But then he averaged like 15 points 2 years ago, 11 points last year, but now he's averaging 6. So yeah, I think this is the one that's better. Yeah, so like you then you ask more of him too, then right? Like there's guys you can start asking more of, and then you kind of just see like who does it, like who's the guy we're looking for. Which where does the brother not play for the Clippers?
Say it again.
Does the brother not play for the Clippers?
I swear he played for the Clippers or plays for the Clippers. He's not there.
No, I
He's
did
on the
not see
roster.
him. And I forgot where he plays for.
Damn, that's sad.
It's not no. I have no idea where that guy plays now.
I thought he was on the
Yeah, if it's
Clippers.
not the Clippers, is it Miami? It's
Uh,
not Houston.
but we gotta plug him in and see where he's at because I'm not
I'm
even
I'm
sure.
I'm quite
Shout out to
curious.
Houston Rockets. They gave Raptors like a 30. Damn.
I'm really curious. Yeah, the Houston Rockets. Yeah, we can talk about Fred's comeback. Markeith. Yeah, Markeith is the brother. He plays for Dallas.
Damn.
I did not know he played for Dallas. I didn't know
Luka
he played.
just be having the ball so damn much. It's like you sometimes you don't even know who's on Dallas. How do you know who's on Dallas?
I know Kyrie doesn't play. That's what I definitely know.
And I know, like Dallas, I know. I just keep hearing Luka all the time when they talk Dallas. I hear no Kyrie, and
The
he's
thing
not
is,
injured. He
he's
injured
only
or
played 27 games, but Kyrie's averaging 25 points.
it's remember it's Duke Kyrie. He only played 13 games in Duke and did his thing.
Yeah, which I that's why I didn't believe in him.
I didn't either. I really didn't either. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So they have the better of the Morris twins because but it's funny because their careers flipped because Markeith started off like well he of course in the beginning he go like 7 points, 8 points, then 13, 15, 11, 12, 14, 11, 11 like he was a quality player, then all of a sudden it dropped down. That's why a lot of people make jokes and say that like they switch places. Like at one point, like they just because it's weird how one started this way and the other started
Yeah,
and they just switched.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I find that kind of funny because
Systems, roles, teams,
right,
stuff like that. Like certain teams will ask you to do certain things. Like, okay, we want you to score more. So you get that sort. We want you just to move the ball, play defense,
right,
rebound. You don't really need to shoot. We have a lot of politics.
right. But Nick Nurse is a good coach.
He is.
Ultimately, he's a good coach. So I would almost expect him to figure it out.
He will. Nick Nurse, when he was with Toronto, he was making a lot of lineup changes. So
Right,
same thing with Philly. He's gonna be.
right. He lost Kawhi and Danny Green and still won darn near for like 48. We were almost a 50. Well, no, we were more than a 50-win team. Second place in the East during the
Yeah.
bubble season. So and then even when Scotty's first year, we won 40. So I think he's good. The thing is, if you're playing defense, you're just trying to double Maxi and hope that Tobias and Kelly Oubre play, or you do the opposite. You double Tobias, you double Kelly, and tell Maxi, go ahead and score 60. I don't care.
I feel like to contain Maxi, he's one of those guys you got to pick up full court because he's just quick as a he's quick. He's like lightning. He's
Yeah,
quick.
he's
He's
very quick.
quick.
That's why almost you almost let him just do his thing. I think sometimes I think I've always been in the mindset. Maybe I'm different. I'm always thinking whoever the best player, let them score 50. I don't care. I'm guarding everybody else.
You see me, I'm the opposite. You see the guy, I'm not wanting the top guy to go up. Let the other guys beat me.
Yeah,
Let
that makes sense.
let Paul Reed have 35 and 11 boards. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, shoot, Paul Reed had that? Yeah.
And then you
And
take it.
have
You take the lost
and
ones like that.
Tobias, Maxi, and Oubre have under 15. I'll live with that.
I think, and it's funny we mentioned so, which leads to our next topic. So Embiid, Philly, like it is what it is. But it leads to our next topic about points. We didn't talk about it last time, but Embiid had 70. Then another player had 73. Luke had 73. Then same night Booker had 60. Same night that
Two.
Embiid
Yeah.
had 70. It was Cat, and then look, Curry just had 60. Thinking about it, three of those was it three of them? Is Embiid the only one who won? And
Yeah.
then Luca won.
No, I think no, Carl Anthony Towns, I
They
believe
lost.
they lost, right?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, the Embiid one, yeah.
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 So Embiid and Luca won. So out of the past like 2 weeks, we've had a bunch of scoring, and most of the time they've lost. Right? Curry just got 60 and still
In the
lost to
L.
Atlanta by like darn near close to 10 points.
And had 10 threes.
And still, so to me, it's then I always lead to me like that's what I'm saying. Like, man, then score all the points you want. I don't care. And we'll still beat you.
I hear you coming from that, but
But then I also think to myself, if I'm one of these guys and I see a man, honestly, if I see a man have 40, maybe we're just older. I'm knocking him down.
You're
He's not
you're
scoring.
pulling old Charles Oakley.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm saying who's my 11th man? My 11th man, I need you to come in. You see Luca, every time he goes in, give him a good shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. Don't make it
Every,
easy for him. Don't be
that
dirty, but don't make it easy for him at all.
right,
Make him like
borderline
make him
victory.
think twice. Make him think twice about coming. Trust me.
Right.
That's
You got
old
six
school.
fouls. You're not playing any minutes anyway.
Yeah,
Earn it.
yeah, exactly.
You get fouled. Da, 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 da. That's how I would move because I'm just thinking to myself like trying to win, right?
Right.
I'm also just trying to not make a man score like darn near 70 on us, right? And
You,
mind you, they can get
you want
70
to
on
be
the
that
foul line,
team. You don't want to be that team. Like everyone knows, RIP Kobe knows he got the 81 on the Raptors. That's
right?
gonna be the asterisk. You know what I mean?
Right. So
What's crazy though, talking about scoring on a side note, that there's no footage of Wilt's 100 points.
yeah,
You ever take that in?
yeah. There's
It's
none.
wild.
There's none.
Zero. It's like zero. And it's wild.
I think
But
they say there's a radio hit and there's like there could be a box score for it, but like a lot of it's been like questioned and like a
we
whole
just
bunch of
see
stuff.
him holding up the paper. That's the only that's
Yeah, because you can't see it. So
so
no one knows what's really happening
yeah,
in regards to that. So in regards to the scoring, right? I think me and you are a little bit more old school in this sense. I
100%.
love scoring, but I always say this: 140 to 140 game and a 95 to 95 game. When I'm watching it, does not look different to me. Like I'm not thinking to myself, "Oh, a team won 98, 96. They missed a bunch of shots." I've never thought that in my mind. I
No.
never thought to my when it's 140, 140, they're like, oh man, these guys shot. But when I'm watching ball, I don't see the points being scored so much. I will say, of course, there's a lack of defense. And I really wanted to chime in and say, like, I hate this defense. Like, I hate there's just no defense. I hate that mans are playing so willingly and like ease, let a man go through. Doesn't who cares? There's no, I don't like it. I hate it actually. What's your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. What the fuck is going on? Seriously. You know what I mean? Like it boggles my mind when you see Luca get to 73 and I'm not seeing double teams.
At
But I'm
all.
watching Raptors and Shea. I don't know how much he finished with, but I'm seeing double teams go to Shea, right? Forcing him to pass the ball, right? Shea didn't even have 40, right? Luka was cooking. He had like 50 by half, or like 40 some by half. And still I'm seeing he's mourning after he went by one man, no real contest, no
Right.
foul, no one, you know what I mean? Like, you serious? No one trying to take a charge, no double team. A guy going off like that, hey, it's Luca. From the time hits 0-0, the tip, first quarter, you're picking him up from full court. You're not making it easy. You're denying ball on defense.
Right.
You're running the double. Like, this is, right? This is basic. And you don't even need a coach and pickup. I know guys like, no, don't double and pick up or whatever, or Brody League, whatever YMCA league you in, you're doubling him. The coach don't need to tell you to double him. You're doubling him. He's cooking you, you're doubling. And it was, I don't know what was going on, but you see every single bucket he scored and how he scored it. Some had defense. I'm not gonna say it was all wide open, but if it was a college team, I don't even think he wouldn't be scoring 73 on a college team. He wouldn't be.
I just think it's and it happens. Sometimes man will score 60 or like a man is on a heater, so it's hard. And when you keep fouling them, they will go to the free throw line. Things can happen. And I can see that. But at least people can say you tried your best bodying them. We can easily say Atlanta did not try their best stopping that Luca. They just didn't, right? We can say it. Like Karl Anthony Towns, I forgot what team they're facing. He scored his 60, and in the day, they still lost. They still lost. Like Embiid was dominant, and you can't really stop Embiid because he's like physically dominant,
Okay, yeah.
right? So you can't stop him. But the lack of defense, the no one's like you said, guarding the man full court, on ball, get into his t-shirt, let him know who you are. Let you better whisper in his ear.
Exactly.
Say
Exactly.
sweet nothings to him. He better know that you're not leaving his sight. He has to pass the ball. There's no choice, right? But and you know Luka's gonna have the ball. He has no one to pass it to.
Because Kyrie did Kyrie play that game? I don't think so.
No,
You don't know how 73 Kyrie played that game. Maybe he had 50.
it just didn't make sense. So I'm not a fan of the lack of defense in the league. Everyone's saying that now the league will make some changes because of it all,
We'll see.
and we're hoping so. I'm hoping there's some
Two
sort of
things.
defense.
Two things. The lack of defense and what you can't change is what teams do is every team is shooting a bunch of threes. You guys are not Stephen Curry. You
Yep.
see what I'm saying? There's one Curry. He changed the game for him and how he played the game. I can hit a bunch of threes. I can come off screens. I can. He's good at that. Some other players are okay at that too, not teams.
That's why the stats are showing that like it's the role players who are shooting a lot of threes. But I'm thinking like, damn, like some of y'all aren't like that's just not your game. Like I always say, like Pascal, I don't want you shooting like five threes. I actually don't want you shooting. I want you to be in the mid. Like I love the fact that Jimmy Butler doesn't shoot threes. I love it. Why? You're not good at it. DeMar DeRozan, you're not good at it. Why
And
do
Shea,
it?
Shea will attempt maybe two threes, maybe a game, maybe.
Right. Like why? You're not good at like I just quickly clicked the Pacers versus the Hornets, right? Pascal had 25 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. So the man went crazy.
That
A
was a
plus
good.
30 throughout the game. The man went
That's
crazy.
30 good. Yeah.
He was 11 to 20, one for four shooting the three. So you're 25%. To
Yeah.
me, if you just didn't shoot any three, you would have still had 22 points, right? And you would have shot what 11 or you would have shot 10 of 16. Way better averages, way better numbers. So imagine if you just kept shooting in the post, you're gonna get fouled. I don't know. I feel like
Or what if he just didn't even attempt those threes and use those as 2 point attempts,
right.
right?
So
Probably would have had 30.
you would have four. Yeah, you would have four attempts. You're going 2 for 4 for them. So
Yeah, you're
then
going two for
you're
four.
you're
And
13
yeah,
of 20 now. It's
yeah.
better, right? So you're shooting 60%. It's just to me, you can help your average. Like I know some NBA players don't really care about averages, but you're right. Shooting the three, everyone's just doing it too much. Now, the one thing with Embiid's injury, like we talked about before, and with the scoring and all that stuff, MVP races, All Star, all that stuff. What I think that people have been talking about recently, and I want to get your take on it. There's a 65 game rule. So for anyone who wants an All NBA nod or an MVP or any award, you have to play 65 games and over. Some people don't like it. I think Tyrese Halliburton said it's bad. Some players are like, no, like if player's been good, why should they be punished for only playing 65 games? Whatever, whatever. I know Stephen A. Everyone's commenting on what he said on First Take was one of his best takes on it when he said what he said. So did Charles Barkley. But before I even mention what they said, how do you feel about the 65 game rule? Is it unfair to them and all
No,
that?
I see where the players are coming from, but you got to look at where the fans, because we're the one putting the bread, we're the one buying the jerseys, buying the tickets, giving y'all views. Because if no one went to the games, no one watched the games, there'd be no NBA,
Right,
right? So with that being said, I agree with this because I've been talking to everyone, and it's like I hate how guys are in and out the lineup
right,
so much, and it's hurting the game because people pay, save up money, get tickets to watch their favorite players play.
right,
We're waiting for that game for maybe months, right? Player out, illness. Like if it's real, it's real.
right,
But a lot of these players are out so much, it's like it's just load management, and we all know it,
right,
right? And it's just hurting the game, I feel. So this kind of forces players, especially the stars, because they'll be on the load management, right?
right,
Forces them to, I agree with it. It shouldn't have gotten to this, but because of what has been happening, it had to get to this. So
right.
that's why I agree with it. What about you?
You said it like they made it get here. This wasn't a rule for the 70 plus years, 75 plus years of the NBA. You made it get here. Now, like you said, like if it's a legit injury, like now Embiid's hurt, that makes sense. Like you can't punish that, right? Because Embiid's legit hurt. Meniscus tear can take you out like 4 to 6 weeks or three
Yeah,
to 4 months. It can take you out a while. So we get that MCL tear, like that's bad. And you're right. The players who are it's and everyone says it's the organizations because it's true. They're resting guys. Guys are not playing because of this and that. If it's legit, it's legit. But if you're trying to tank, all of a sudden mans aren't playing. Bunch of mans not like it's like what's going on here? We want to see mans play. Now, Greg Popovich is the reason why this all started because he did that with Tim
Loki.
Duncan,
Yeah,
Ginobili, and Parker, and they
yeah,
won 5 titles. So
yeah, yeah.
you can't even fault the decision, but you also had Ginobili, Parker, and Duncan, right? Those are the guys who we want to see play. Luckily this year, knocking on wood, Kawhi's played most of his games. He's only missed 4 of the games. Anthony Davis, I think, as well, has only missed a
See,
really handful of games. The only guy sometimes I feel like I would hate this as a fan to not watch him, but like if LeBron said like I'm just gonna take a day off or two, I'm like he gave the league a lot. He gave the league 20 years of
he
his life.
did, he
So like to me, I'm just thinking like, okay, LeBron, you can kind of take today off. Why not?
did.
Now, Charles Barkley said he wished it was 70 games. Stephen A. Smith had also
Oh
said
shit! Barkley said
that
70, huh?
he's
Oh
at
shit!
70. He's like, he wished it was 70. Stephen A. Smith also agreed that like no one should be crying about this. This is exactly what it should be. To me, if I'm being honest, all NBA players, I love watching the game. Yeah, I agree. 65 games, honestly, it should be 80 games. It should be 80 games. If you guys are missing games because of actual reasons, oh, all for it. And they can make up reasons. But these guys run and jump every single day. Their bodies are hurt every day. Every day. Tell these teams to go 10 deep then. Instead of going 7 deep, go 10 deep.
Exactly.
So your body can rest better and you
Exactly.
can, but people don't because everyone of course wants to win, right? But if every team is going 10 deep, then every team is in an even playing field. But if one team goes 8 deep
True.
and plays their 8 best
I like
players,
that perspective actually. Yeah, I like that perspective.
great. Because then if you're playing your 8 best players, you're gonna beat if they're playing their 10 and 3 of the players or 2 of the players aren't that good. You're always gonna beat that team. But ultimately speaking, play more players. There's 12 to 15 man bench. Like
Yes.
play
Yeah.
everybody. And
Yeah.
I know we all want to win games, but play the guys. And I know it's hard because as fans, we're looking at it like, oh no, we want to see a Scotty Barnes on the court a little more, or the Jokic on the court. There's stats. There's
But if Scotty
points.
Barnes or LeBron is available for 80 games, you know what I mean? Anthony
Right,
Davis, 80 games. Even if you're used to seeing 80, 35 minutes, he gets 25 minutes,
right,
right?
right,
But you know he's playing out of the 41 home games, he's playing 37 of them,
right.
right? You're gonna be okay. I'm good at compromise. You're not seeing as much, but he's
Right.
available for majority.
And
I
then, but yes, of course, guys have their stats, their averages will get lower, blah blah blah. But everything to me will even out eventually. Like maybe Mavs won't average 25 points a game, maybe they average 22. But averaging 22 is crazy. I was listening to a podcast and they said, I think it was just like 7 years ago, there was 15 guys who averaged over 20, 15, right?
that
Now
was it.
there's 50.
That was it. See? And even
Like
if it's the scoring, right? The scoring with the 30, I should say with the 30, so we're talking about scoring the 30. How much guys before in the league were averaging 30 plus a game?
well, it's probably just like well, it's just Kobe, Tracy McGrady, like
Yeah, like
Durant when he came.
maybe two or three. Yeah,
Yeah.
last year I swear it was like 7 or 8 or
Yeah.
six
I think
at least.
because yeah, I think it was like Shea, Embiid, maybe not Jokic, but maybe Devin Book. Like, oh, a bunch of mans,
Yeah, it
right?
was like
So to
six last
me, like you said, we're paying this money. I'm sorry, like if they don't feel like they owe it to us, like that's kind of wrong on them. Like you don't have to be no one's role model, but I came to watch the product. It's like maybe a bad comparison,
business.
but
It's a business.
imagine your favorite steakhouse, right? You go to your favorite steakhouse and they don't have the steak.
Yeah. Why? Oh, not available today.
Like you'd be
But
kind
we
of
ran out.
disappointed.
Okay.
You know, you waited your whole weeks to come to this get the steak and it's not there. Man, I want to watch Jokic play. I want to watch LeBron play. Like I'm one of those people. People are like, oh, shorten the NBA season. I've said it from day one. Never shorten the regular season. I wish I could watch NBA as much as possible. It's up to everyone else to just do better, to just be
It's
better
up
than
to
this.
condition their body a certain way and to eat right, and they have all the tools. These guys are grown men. They shouldn't be making no excuses about
Right.
shortening the season.
And then
Like
people are like, oh, like they have private jets. Like back in the day, Jordan, Bird didn't have private jets. That's why these guys didn't last long. Bird only lasted like under like 11 seasons, I believe, something like that.
Bird played, I swear, half of his career with back spasms.
He did, right? And then he ended his career early. So did Magic.
He was
The only man
chilling.
that really lasted long was Kareem,
Yeah, he
right?
was.
Jordan didn't last that long. Like a bunch of men didn't really last long. Jordan
Yeah,
may have the years span long, but he took the years off a couple times. Like like he's taking time. Magic doesn't have a very long career. Like these guys, yeah, I think
it
Magic
was
only
hard
had
on the
12
body
years.
because they played longer and they played through injuries. Yeah, but they still played a lot of games because Magic
Right.
and they still Jordan averaged logged I think over 1,000 games.
Right. Yeah,
Right?
but
So
they didn't have so right now LeBron's in 20. You have Beer Man's on the 15th year, like 14th year, and Magic Bird didn't get there. Jordan didn't get to the 15th year. All these mans ended quicker. Like I said, only Kareem. But still they give us their all for the 11. I almost rather you give us your all for the 11 than me see you want to play like the fact that Kyrie, I don't know what I think Kyrie's actually hurt, but just knowing the fact that he only played 27 games and we're darn near at 50 games right now sucks. As a
yeah,
fan, I just want to see Kyrie play.
yeah,
Right. I'm not even a
exactly.
fan of Kyrie. I'm just saying, like,
In
I
general,
want to
yeah,
see these
trust me.
guys play. So to me, these players can complain about it all they want, the 65 game rule, but
You guys are
I want
getting
to see it.
paid so much bread to play at a high level and to play through certain injuries, set injuries, and to condition your body and so on. So you have to deal with it. There's certain things on the job me and both want to do at times, but we got to do because we got to do it. You see what I'm saying?
You
It's
just
life.
have to. You
It's
just
a
have to.
job, but the NBA is a job. It's a business. So our
Yep.
coach, you know what I mean? Like when Ja got injured in practice shoulder, to me, I'm just like, okay, these guys want to tank. That's how I felt
Yeah.
because like he goes on Twitter and puts damn. That was his reaction to the injury. I'm like, okay, just put tank. Just don't even put damn, just put tank.
See, but I did hear that his shoulder was hurting him from time. But I heard it was hurting him during the 25 game suspension, which that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But you're right. I also think like if this team was winning 50 games, they had a shoulder injury, are we seeing him back in the playoffs? Like right now, if the 76ers were a bad team, Embiid's out for the season.
Yeah, 100, 100.
He's not coming back.
And it's a
Zach
tank.
Levine decided to take surgery. He's out for the whole season now. Right? He's not going to get traded either, right? Which will lead to another conversation. He's not getting traded because they can't. Chicago's going to stand pat. They have no choice.
Chicago is not making any moves. This
They
is
don't.
crazy.
Yeah, they don't
This
want
is
to.
crazy.
They
This
don't
is
want to.
crazy.
Let's not talk about our the All Star week,
Oh
and
shit, yeah,
the
let's get it.
reserves were picked, the stars are picked. We're gonna go with the Western Conference, which the starters for the Western Conference is Luca, Kevin Durant, Shea, LeBron, Jokic. Their bench is Devin Booker, Stephen Curry, Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Karl Anthony Towns. We'll go West first. Of course, people love talking about snubs. Is
Snubbies.
is there any snubs that you see? Is there a guy that you would generally say, I'll take this guy out and put him in? Or do you think everyone's kind of having a good season? There's just gonna be those cases.
Everyone is kind of having a good season, but what place is Sacramento in? Let me see what place Sacramento because they need one of those boys on the squad. Sacramento's in what place? Let me see. Sacramento's in fifth, 10 games with
Yeah.
500, no one in the All-Star game. How do you feel about that? No Sabonis, no Fox. Fox is balling this year.
Both of them are balling. Both of them are balling. Sabonis is doing numbers that like hasn't been seen before. Like legit he's doing historic numbers.
He
They're
is.
29 and 19. Lakers have two guys, and I get it. It's name brand. Anthony
It's
Davis,
even.
LeBron James.
Lakers are where at ninth. One game of. Here's the thing. You have the face on the Lakers, LeBron. You
Right.
don't need AD.
Yeah.
You don't need AD.
And
You
mind you,
could
AD is
put
an all-star. We're
Sabonis
just
in for
saying if you
AD.
have to pick, if you have to take, we're more saying like AD is an all-star this year, but we're saying more like if you have to pick one guy per team, it'd be LeBron, and it should be Sabonis. The guy that like, and I get it, the Timberwolves are a good team, and I feel like if they deserve the second all-star, if they did, it would be Gobert and not Karl-Anthony Towns.
Oh, you
Um,
thought Gobert should have gone instead of Towns.
I would have Gobert over Towns.
You would have a Gobert over Towns. See, I would put Sabonis over Towns.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. Me too. Sabonis is definitely over Towns,
it's like
right? And the person who like, and I could be completely wrong, but I don't believe Devin Booker's an all-star this year. In
you know
comparison to
what?
Darian Fox. Like,
You know what?
see, my thing is
Fox is having a better year, so
that's my thing,
I can
right?
agree with that take.
A
And they're
better
having
team.
and
They
their
should
record
be
is better. I agree with that take.
like Paul George has been an all-star. But like to me, if I have to think about it, the starters are the starters, and those five guys deserve it.
The
But
five
I
guys
think
deserve it, but
Sabonis and Fox deserve it over like you're
Cat
right,
and
probably
Booker.
over Anthony Davis. Uh, the only people they don't deserve it over is honestly Kawhi, Steph, and Anthony Edwards. Those two
I
guys have
agree.
been playing like all stars, and those two guys have been
Of them,
consistent. I
yeah.
would say those guys deserve more easily, easily. But I'm surprised the coaches didn't vote, and it doesn't look like anyone in the West is injured to take
Yeah.
their spot.
Yeah.
Now we go to the East. The starters for the East is uh, Giannis, Joel, Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, and Jason Tatum. Those are the starters. Now the bench, the reserves is Bam, Paolo, Jalen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Maxey, Julius Randle. Is there anything that like stands out to you, or once again, is everything kind of okay here?
I feel like the East is pretty much because I'm trying to think, I'm like, I was thinking Trey Young, your homie, right? Your homeboy. Shout out Trey Young, but who would you have him over on the squad, right?
The thing is, you technically would see the guards in the East are like pretty perfect. It's
Yeah.
most like the bigs. The bigs in the East are just not perfect, right? Like a lot of people want to say Scotty should have been. Um,
And it's like I can't agree with that. I can't like he's having a good season, but record wise, I'm looking at the record too, and it's like
right, because you have to me, a lot of Raptor fans, there was so this guy that two guys that I actually follow on Twitter were
yeah,
arguing about Scotty Barnes. And because the guy said, because Julius Randle's hurt, and so is Embiid, and I think so is someone else hurt, but those two are for sure hurt. They're not going to be in the All Star, so they
okay.
need replacements.
I need to replace.
So
Yeah,
the man was saying that Trey Young is going to be, or most likely thinks Trey Young will be a replacement because that's what Adam Silver is. It's his choice. So he'll pick Trey Young. And then the guy was like, no, why are you saying that? You should be saying Scotty Barnes. You're not, this is the type of Raptors media that we don't like. So they're drawing back and forth now about the man's like, no, I never said that. I'm just saying that if Adam Silver's picking, he's probably picking Trey Young. It's an all-star game. He's picking Trey Young. And I saw his point, but the other guy was saying, like, even if he is, as a Raptors media guy, you're supposed to tell everyone it should be
it's
Scotty Barnes.
Barnes. Yeah,
And I
yeah.
see it from both, but they literally went back and forth all the time. But then I think about it, Paolo deserves it over Scotty. Scotty's numbers are better, but Paolo is on a winning squad. So
He probably yeah. Magic are up still. So
you gotta go. To me, I didn't fully believe in the Julius Randle, but his stats are there. His stats are there. His team's good.
it
He's one of
is.
the anchors of it.
It is. It
And
is.
then for him, like, can I honestly say Scotty should be over him outright? Maybe not. Winning does and should matter,
It does matter. Yeah.
right? So it's hard. I know a lot of people want to put like a Derek White or Kristaps Porzingis. Like you said, the East is much harder to think of like
Because
who we
then that's
taking
three
out.
on Boston, right? If you put a Derek White or Porzingis, you're not gonna have three on. You know what I mean?
That's a lot. That's a
It
lot.
is a
Mind you,
lot.
they almost deserve it, right? The person who I felt, and this can be well, maybe Dame deserved to be a reserve, but he definitely deserved to be a starter. No way.
I agree. He does. I agree. I agree.
That's Jalen Brunson's
Did you
spot.
call Butler? Did you call Jimmy?
No,
It was
Jimmy's on
Bam,
all.
right? It
Bam.
was Bam, right? No Jimmy, huh?
Yeah, because he didn't play enough. Jimmy's waiting till
True.
April.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Waiting till April. Jimmy's not playing no games. Yeah. So it's just be fun. But the one thing I felt like we're almost back to maybe it never changed, but the Western Conference just has so much more stars.
They do. They do.
Like just by look, like yeah, the stars are just in the West, and I think is it just because of the way the time frames work?
Because
That's like
Kyrie is a star, right? And right, he can make
yeah,
all star, but he didn't play
it's
enough
just the
games.
fact that like LeBron, Steph, like the West is just about Luca, Shea, Kevin Durant, Jokic, like they just have star power.
They
Like the
had,
biggest,
yeah.
of course, is Giannis, who I think led in overall vote getting. Was
You
Giannis
have
like
even Zion Williamson, and they didn't even see and sniff all star, right?
right? And no one's even talking about they. How are you gonna say Brandon Ingram, who's had a really good season actually,
Yeah,
doesn't deserve to be spoken about? Like really, the West has a lot of guys
I
that
forgot.
deserve.
You have the guys still.
The West had a lot of guys, so it's almost like you can't even say there's a snub at all. Now, this week, the trade deadline, it's on Thursday.
Hmm.
I first thought it was going to be a very active trade deadline, but because of the Bulls, I'm not sure it's going to be an active trade deadline because the Bulls ain't making no moves. And I'm looking at like the standings and everything like that. I don't know who's going to make moves, man.
The Bulls on the standings. Let me see.
They're
Yeah,
ninth,
nine.
and that's
That's the
they're
five in
not
the last 10.
they're not jumping Miami or Orlando. Like the
They're,
eight is the eight.
hmm.
Orlando would have to really
Any
drop
moves?
down, like really much so.
If they don't make any moves, they may make the play in, maybe, and
Yeah.
lose in the first round, and that's their season.
So like to me, it's just like that's like Chicago. I don't know what their plan is. They technically have to. DeMar May like he's a free agent. So are you going to sign him? You're going to trade him? That doesn't make sense to me. What they're planning
Was a
on
free
doing.
agent unrestricted, huh?
Unrestricted free agent.
You know what that means? He's
So I hear reports about PJ Washington, even Miles Bridges. I heard Miles Bridges to Phoenix. I heard recently there was a report of PJ Washington to what's the team? The Clippers. But I don't know who the Clippers like. What? Like how? The Clippers have too much guys who can score the ball. I don't think they need that. I really don't think the Clippers need anything right now.
they just need. You know what the Clippers need right now? They need to make a fucking deep run in the playoffs and to
That's
get
it.
that's it to prove everyone that they could do it. You guys, they're too busy adding this, adding that.
Yeah.
Add for once, leave it, and see how it goes. Run the experiment, and if it doesn't work, try something new. But don't just okay. We didn't make it. Let's just keep adding. Let's keep adding. We didn't do
Right.
shit. Let's keep adding, and then just
Killian Hayes from Detroit asked for a trade. Who? Killian, sir.
my
Killian.
favorite player on the Pistons. Shout out to Killian Hayes.
Like, come on. He wants. I think he wants more of a role, but
And you're a
okay, I
guard that can't
guess.
shoot.
Hmm?
You want more of a role in your guard that can't shoot?
I'm.
You're shooting like from the field, I think 38% from the field, and like
Let's
22% from three, I think.
let's see his stat lines for this guy
You're
to be
horrible at
asking.
shooting. You're in your 30s. If you're in your, if you're at maybe you're at 40, maybe. But this, come on. And your seventh pick, your lottery pick,
He's
you're horrible.
averaging 7 points, and his shooting splits are 41% from the field. He's
Exactly.
28% shooting the three. His free throw line is 66%. And everyone says your free throw line is a determination of how good of a scorer you are. His 2 point
You're a
shots are
guard.
45%. Like he's,
It's
yeah,
not good. It's not good. You're a guard. You're shooting 60% from the line. You're a guard, and you have no attribute where it's like, okay, you're not a high flyer. You're not extremely quick. You're not an elite passer. You have nothing that you sets you like, oh shit, Killian Hayes. He really's got bounce. He really
yeah,
got vision. He really can dribble the ball. He really can play make. He has none of that. You're under average in everything.
yeah.
You want more of a role?
I don't know.
More
I don't
role than
know.
maybe
So he may get traded because it looks like they want to trade him too, but I'm not trading anything for him.
Yeah,
Like
bro,
respectfully, I'm really not.
bro.
Washington has a few pieces, like Tyus Jones is the one piece that people have talked about.
He's
But
decent. He's
other than
decent.
that, I keep hearing, oh, this one, I want to see what your opinion is. Houston Rockets, your team, yeah, they're 11th, and but honestly, even if they don't make the playoffs, they should be very like excited about their season. A much better season than I thought. Much better season than I thought.
And everyone
You
thought.
definitely hit the nail there. And they're technically like Utah's been winning games. Mind you, last 10 or 4 instances. But if somehow Utah's like we decided to tank, you Golden State has to start winning games. But if Golden State doesn't, Houston has been pretty consistent. There's no question that Houston can be the 10th seed and cause just some annoyance.
Yeah, they could be. Yeah.
No question about it.
3 games
Um,
under 500, that's not bad at all for the Rockets.
right?
Not bad at
So
all.
with that, but there's a report that they do not see Jalen Green as somebody for the future. They don't see it. They rather go like big name
I heard,
hunting.
yeah, I heard they're trying to move on from him still.
What's your
And
thought process?
that's my guy, right? But he has been performing as he should be performing still. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, there was more opportunity when there was literally no one on the squad for him to show out,
Right.
and he was just taking horrible shots, wild shots. It was exciting to watch. I'm not gonna lie, but now it's you got Udoka there. He means business. You got Fred. He won a ring. He knows what it takes. You got Brooks. He's played with big name Ja. He knows what it
Right.
takes. You know what I mean? So it's like there's different system over there now, and he's not fitting that system.
He
So
doesn't. I think like I've always said to you, I like his game, but honestly, he's Jordan Clarkson. Like he's a six man at best. I really truly think so. I don't think he's a starting. Um, I don't think he's a starter because certain mans play and they just remind me that they just want to score. There's a guy that's coming into the draft. I'm going to mess up his name. So I think it's Dillingham. I could be wrong. He plays for Kentucky. People are talking about it a lot. I saw a highlight or two, and I already think to myself, and I could be wrong. It's so fresh. Let me see more highlights. But he kind of reminds me of like a guy who just wants to score off the bench. And I just think when you see a guy who wants to go off the bench, it's almost like they've already established what their role is, right? They already established it. It's not like an Anthony Edwards who wants to score, but can do a lot of different things, can pass the ball better, is more determined, more of a positive shot maker. And even with difficult shots are better. Like it's just everything's better. So Jalen Green, I'm curious to see if they'll pull that trigger. But once again, who can you get? I heard reports again, Brooklyn Nets. They may give Brooklyn back their picks that the Rockets have, and then hey, we'll give you Jalen Green, give us Mikal, and probably somebody else. Once again, if you're Brooklyn, as much as you may like Mikal Bridges, it's not going to get you anywhere.
it isn't.
Start fresh. Get Jalen Green, see what you can do. See what you can do. Get your draft picks back. See what you can do. If Brooklyn gets their draft picks back, then trade Mikal to the Rockets, right? But for
Yeah,
the Rockets, Mikal doesn't do much with them. But we all know the Sengun is somebody.
definitely. They found a gem.
And yeah,
They fucking found a gem because it was Jalen. Because they came in the same draft, right? Jalen Sangoon. I believe they came in
it
the
has to
same,
be. Yeah. Because of
right?
Barnes. Yeah. Yep.
And I was seeing Sengun in the summer league. I'm like this. I like this kid.
He's nice.
This
People
kid.
liked him a lot.
Good intangibles. Good feel for the game. Great touch. You know what I mean?
He's potentially an all-star snap.
Yeah. He's in the next couple of years he's gonna be all star.
Yeah, for sure. He's a good player, right? So it's all these. That's why I can see them make moves. I hear Dallas wants to make some moves. The Lakers really can't make any moves. Like they can't trade draft picks because they have the potential of having like 3 draft picks after the season's done to trade. So why trade one draft? If they trade the one now, they're screwed. So it's better to trade it like after. So unless they can like trade some guys, everyone knows they're trying to potentially trade D'Lo and things like that. I don't know about the Lakers, man. I do think they need like they do need somebody. They need a lead guard. They
I
need a
think the
lead guard.
Lakers they definitely need a lead guard, but right now It's LA. It's
Yeah,
been LA. They have two superstar. Well, they have the face and an all-star in AD and LeBron. So
right.
they're good right now with like what as long as they're respectable, right? Like 500, right? As long as they're
Yeah,
around that in general, they're respectable. They're gonna put people in the seats. They're gonna get, games on ESPN, shit like that, right? But
yeah.
it's about winning.
It is, and that's what I don't know what their next move is. Honestly, I don't know because it's maybe they just try to just be better ultimately. Probably focus more on defense and try to be a more defense because they do, and then like let Anthony Davis and LeBron score the 25 points, let D'Lo play and read, and just focus so much more on defense. They'll probably win more games. If they just focus strictly on defense.
They did switch
Um,
up the lineup yesterday, the starting lineup a little bit, right?
right, right.
So I guess they're trying new shit out. See
They
how.
are. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but there's so much potential moves that could be made. Everyone's talking about Boston trying to make more moves. And well, now almost pretty much these
Boston
two
needs to
are.
chill out.
But I think
Just
they do if they can try to get a guard, like if they can get Jordan Clarkson, which I don't think they can, but I do think wouldn't Jordan Clarkson hurt the Jalen Brown and the Jason Tatum of it all?
like, do you need a like? They don't need that. They
Right.
don't need that.
I think more they need more like a like defensive like 3-and-D wings, if anything. Try to get that. The Knicks, I don't know what the Knicks they're probably gonna make a move now. So now leading more to the Raptors, which is our like last topics to have is about our Toronto Raptors. The Raptors still have multiple moves to make, right? They have multiple moves. Bruce Brown, Chris Boucher has not been getting a lot of minutes
I'm gonna
recently,
say that Chris Boucher. I'm like, what's
and
going
that's
on?
for a reason. I
I
think
was
that's
gonna
a
say
reason. But
Trent. I
they
was gonna say Trent too.
the Trent one. So you're right because I'm still kind of confused now because if you're telling me next year and I kind of want to keep Yak. But if someone calls me and it's a good deal, I'll trade Yak. But if I don't get a good deal for Yak, I'm keeping him because clearly you need a big. It's clear as day. But if you're telling me next year, it's Yak, Scotty, Barrett, Trent, quickly. I said that's a pretty good squad. That could be a top 6 squad in the East, right? You have a solid center who's great pick and roll, a great defensive center. Like he actually is. You still have an emerging Scotty Barnes, right? He's only still 23. Like we can never think that guys are like we forget who Jason Tatum was 5 years ago, right? He's so much better of a talent now. It's hard for guys to come in like a John Morant and Zion or Luca. Only a few guys come like that. A lot of guys steady progression to where we want. Emmanuel quickly, he can grow to in his role, and then so can everyone else. So you tell me if Gary Trent can be the fourth option, hit open threes. You're not asking him to do too much offensively. Would you not then? His next deal won't be a lot, but if you can agree to a 2 year 38
I was
to
gonna say
40 mil.
30. I was gonna say 30.
I don't
That's
think he
still a
can
lot. 15 a year is a lot. That's a lot.
it is right, but he's getting right now like 18. So he's gonna take a pay cut. Right. So then you almost do another 2 year 36. Because by the time he's done, he'll still be 27.
I like because Masai usually does the short deals to see
Right.
give. Yeah,
Because
I
he'll
like
still
that.
be 27
I
with
don't want to
but then
let
I'm
go of
thinking if
Trent
he
yet.
wants more of a role,
Yeah.
maybe you do trade him.
Well, that's a discussion that he has to have with the front office. But if he wants the same role, I would keep him. The thing is, when I was watching the OKC game today, he had his dribbling got a little bit better. I was seeing, right? So I'm like, there's still he didn't reach his ceiling yet.
There's potential he didn't, right? Especially because he's still a pretty good shooter,
He didn't reach
right?
his
And I
ceiling
think
yet.
in
He was
January
hitting
he's
some threes
shooting
to
darn near
keep us.
40%.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
for
I
the
like Trent.
season,
And
Gary
to me, he's a
is
good defender. He's a good defender.
Gary's
So
42% in the season shooting the three.
on how many attempts average a game?
But darn near probably six, pretty much six.
And you wanna like that's hard to let go. And a defender too, he can play good defense. That's for me as a coach, GM. I want to keep him.
Yeah, if you can, and especially because it still fits the timeline of young guys, and
And he
you
can
just try
get
to
better.
make your bench better, in my opinion. Just improve your bench by any means. Ultimately, the Raptors would need a better defensive player. Like it's crazy. They would. That's when you talked about it. Imagine if they could trade for a Herb Jones. That would
Oh
be spectacular.
shit.
Then you do it, but that's not something that can always happen. But yeah, I just think about this, like this. If Scotty grows and everyone grows, it could be better. But their team, like we said, Bruce Brown is someone I want to trade him because like his timeline just doesn't fit. And I like Bruce Brown, but his time just doesn't fit. So
Yo, I
you
like Bruce
got to
Brown
trade him.
too. I like Bruce Brown. I like what he brings to any team in the league, right?
Right.
It's just
Jordan Nwara has some games for the Raptors. Like
he surprises me.
yeah, he's had some games. So and he's gonna want some minutes. But if other teams see the way he's playing, he's not coming back to Toronto. He'll go to another team. But if he can be a nice bench big, I'll be pretty happy with that. And you try to get, another year of Grady Dick, who's showing flashes of why like the Raptors like them. And I've always liked Grady Dick, but he's showing more flashes, and I think it's good to see. Um, yeah, but I think Chris Boucher is definitely getting traded. I think he's probably getting traded for like maybe 2 second rounders. Nothing too crazy, but it's fine. You get some second rounders. That's all. Get some draft capital again.
Yeah, you're saving bread, No
Yeah,
more
just get draft capital. That's all it should be.
yeah.
Then you replenish your bench through that. And then then you kind of see who else can get you something. If I think Bruce Brown can get you me in first rounder, especially for on a good team. If Philly's like, you know what, we're gonna bring Bruce Brown
Yeah.
and it's gonna help us with Embiid even next year because you can always re-sign him. Why not? I said if you can get something for Dennis Schroeder, you definitely do it.
You say run the table, Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
So is every Raptor to you on the table? Or who's on the table
Every
that
Raptors on table except the three.
who's the three that's off for you?
RJ, IQ, and Scotty.
Okay.
Always,
You know,
everyone's gonna be on the table.
I low key want to put Trent. I low key
That's what I'm saying.
because he. I feel like he's our best 3-point shooter on the squad.
Like,
Right?
and then Barrett, Scotty, and Quickly like to drive and kick. And why not drive and kick to a 40% shooter?
He's our best 3-point shooter on the squad, and it's like it's
So
hard to like let that
I
go
kind
for
of like that.
some. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I think I've come to terms thinking more and more. I wouldn't hate it if he stayed. I
Okay.
wouldn't hate it. Even Jakobert, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't hate it. If you're
I
telling me the
agree.
rest of the season
Like the
is
thing,
is those starting five that they're just healthy and they grow together, I'll be fine with it.
the thing is,
As
yeah,
long as to me, I'm more for trading like Dennis, and Bruce Brown and Chris Boucher. But if Gary doesn't want to stay, you trade him. If he wants more of a role, you trade him. So you gotta have that honest conversation. I think people have been talking. These guys talk all the time.
yeah.
You just say,
They should
hey,
have that honest conversation. Yeah.
like how much
Pirtle,
more do you want? Like, because
Pirtle. Here's the thing. Yo, he would be if we could get a starting center and have him as a backup somehow.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because Pirtle has IQ and intangibles, and the man's hands. He's catching. He'll bobble the ball, maybe catch it.
yeah.
Pirtle's
He's
all
good.
catches every pass that he gets his hand on and hits his hand. He catches. You see what I'm
Pirtle's
saying?
good. Pirtle's really good. I like Pirtle a lot. I like Pirtle a lot, to be honest. I think Pirtle's is
Backup.
he's the only thing he just can't shoot three. He can't shoot the three. That's what kind of hurts.
That's it. Yeah,
But if he can shoot the three, but you have Scotty shooting 36%, RJ shooting 36%, Daniel quickly shooting 40%, he's shooting 45%, and Gary Trent is shooting for okay, not everyone is shooting threes. We're like you have four guys who can shoot league
we
average
gotta
above,
close it. You gotta close out. You got to close out.
right? So as long as you have guys, you have a pick and roll
They shooting
partner,
like 40 from three, huh? Shooting 40 from three quickly,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. Quickly and Pirtle have great chemistry already,
Yeah.
and then that's great chemistry for they can have even better chemistry next year. I'm really okay, especially Jonte Porter. I love that. We're definitely re-signing him. He is a really good backup big. Now, is he a center backup big or a power forward backup big? It depends what you have with him, but he can shoot the three, and he can shoot the three well.
Yep,
His brother's
yep,
still Michael Porter Jr.
yep,
They
yep,
have, and the whole family can score the basket, so I'll
yep.
be okay. So if already my bench is younger, it's younger with Jonte Porter and Grady Dick. I have three fucking draft picks that I can draft, but one of them should be playing. Like I still, you have $30 million in cap space next year.
Yes.
You're like it goes. I think number one in cap space. I'm gonna get this wrong, but I'll say the top five that I know is like San Antonio, Detroit has cap space, Toronto has cap space, Philadelphia has cap space. Philadelphia is the one that every team should. They have so much cap space.
What about OKC? Is that the fifth?
They probably have cap space as well, right? So, but their cap is probably limited. But I know Phillies is like darn near 40 mil. They have max cap space.
Yeah,
Toronto's is pretty good. If Toronto trades Dennis Schroeder and takes back contract that expires, I'm pretty sure they now have a max slot. Like all these teams have like
so we could,
max money
if
available.
we do that with Shorter, we could sign a max player.
If they trade Schroeder and get back a player who doesn't have a money for next year, then you're good. Right? That's what you I to me, you just want to I want to take the contracts and then have more cap space because you gotta pay quickly, but I don't know what quickly's camp would want. You hear like 25 mil,
Mm.
but if I can lower that down, I'm gonna try.
Masai is good at getting guys contracts.
Because like we saw it in the beginning, but we haven't seen we haven't seen the can this guy be the maxi? Like can he be maxi? We haven't seen it yet.
I would say we got a next season fresh start reset. He's
You're right.
still getting acclimatized still because he's literally how many games play? He hasn't played 10 with us yet, right?
No, he's played 13.
13? Okay, my bad. Well, 13 games, so still a
Still
sample,
small.
still sample size, right?
And then with RJ, so let me give you my RJ take. My RJ
Uh,
take that's been like I've been thinking about. I honestly think RJ Barrett, and I'm already giving my hot take for next year. Let's say with Toronto Raptors. When I watch RJ Barrett play,
yeah.
I genuinely feel that this guy could be an all-star. Like I genuinely feel
I'm not
this
laughing at that still. I'm not laughing at that, but
like he has so much capability. Like if he can just be, mind you, I still haven't seen the bad RJ that the New York fans hate yet.
yeah.
I'm waiting for that RJ to come. Right?
I
He had
heard
one
a
bad
take.
game, but like
I heard a
everyone has
take.
bad game. So I want to see the inconsistency of RJ so that I don't feel this way. But I generally feel like everyone's like it's Scotty and Emmanuel quickly, right? Because of the maxi part. But I'm generally thinking it's Scotty, RJ now. Like I'm really thinking it. Like, what if quickly is like just a 18-point scorer who can light it up some games, but RJ is my consistent 22 points a game, and Scotty's my 24, 25 points a game guy.
I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Like, I heard a take about RJ. Why I was laughing when you said RJ. I heard a take. I think it was Mello and these guys talking.
Yeah,
And, he's boring.
he is. He is. It's probably boring, but he
Doesn't
gets
have that. He's not really
buckets.
quick. He's not gonna like. You know what? He's pretty average at everything, right?
But he there's so
So
much little things about him that when he does it, it's like if this was more at like an elite level,
he has
like
the tools.
he has the thing. I think that's what I'm seeing. I'm
But
seeing the tools, and I'm like,
quick is like over quickly is the two. It's him and like here's the thing. We fans want to believe that because he's from here.
yeah.
We want to believe that, but I disagree with you. This is your take. I respect it, but I disagree with it.
Which makes sense. And I
I
can't.
disagree with it.
It's
It
just
is what it is.
when I
Quickly
you
seems
saw
like he's trying harder to me and playing harder and
probably,
like and quickly is a lot better shooter.
but RJ when he goes to the basket, like RJ scores way easier than everybody else. It's way
I
easier.
agree, and I don't want to agree, but he kind of
You're right.
yeah.
It's the tools. The tools I'm seeing. I'm like, this guy scores at will. I'm just curious to see like, what if you just gave him the ball and told him do your thing, right? But you know what he doesn't do at elite levels? he rebounds pretty well, but I need you to pass at an elite level. He doesn't pass. So
His
to me,
playmaking
even
isn't
though with
there.
the Raptors, he's averaging darn near close to 4 assists, which he never did before.
Yeah, I saw in New York is actually maybe two and a half or something.
Right. But with Toronto, everyone passes the ball. So I'm thinking with Darko's offense,
Yes,
can RJ become a better player? I honestly think I think he can become a way better player. Like I don't think he's reached his ceiling yet. Now that's my
and I
biggest
agree, and I agree with that. He hasn't reached his ceiling. I agree with that.
right.
There
Now you're
has,
right. Quickly ceiling is better. Like his quickly ceiling is like
yeah, I feel it's higher than RJ.
right.
Right,
Right. But I don't know, man. I'm probably like, fuck, like this guy's good. And
it's
you
like
know, the one thing
Scotty
with
ceiling, like quickly
right.
ceiling, or maybe quickly. I don't know, Scotty, and then RJ is kind of
The
right.
problem with Scotty and when people are having issues with Scotty is that he doesn't he's not dominant for 4 quarters. He's dominant for the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, Scotty can score 20 points a game easily. Like he just can score 20 on the fourth quarter. But Scotty has the tools and ability to score like 26 points, 27 points a game. But Scotty really, when you watch him play, he ultimately wants to be the distributor. He
He
wants to
does.
be the guy
True,
that
true.
passes the ball and he'll get the ball in the fourth quarter. But like I would say Jokic had that issue, but people had to tell Jokic, hey, score the ball,
It's your team, yeah.
do it. I think Scotty needs to be a little bit more selfish in that sense to be like, okay, like I'm gonna do my thing. Also,
You could see it.
I'm gonna give you 6 points in the first quarter, 4 points in the second, but I'm giving you 12 in the third, and like, or I'll say six in the third, and I'm giving you 12 in the fourth. Like we need that steady growth. But I think Scotty kind of wants to evolve everyone a lot. But if you do that, I think also it can help us RJ Barrett give you 23 points a game, things like that.
There's nothing wrong with getting your teammates involved, but
Nothing.
I can tell, and when you watch Scotty play, he's looking for others before he's looking for his own shot.
Definitely.
Right? And at times you want him to be more of a dog and be like, okay, Scotty, like make a play if you have it, but always be aggressive. And at times not as aggressive as he should. He's like, okay, let me just, because he'll do the tween the legs, tween,
Right, right,
then pass and then go down. You know what I mean? And instead
right,
of like you have a matchup that's in your favor, go at him, Scotty. Go at him. It's like he'll just tween pass,
right,
right? And I
right.
guess it is what it is. Darko's offense. They run a certain set, but at certain times as a ball player, you gotta say, "Yo, fuck the set. I got a smaller guy on me, or Shaq said, I got a little guy on me.
Right.
Go to work, and plays will develop. Sometimes you gotta just plays will develop based on how you attack the defense. Plays will develop. You know what I
And
mean?
that's the thing, Scotty. I just want to see Scotty do more because I truly think he has. I think him and RJ have the quickly. They honestly all have the ability to go into the basket very well. Like I can see the future with them as long as we build a lot of guys around them. But I do want to see. Scotty took a leap already this year.
He
I am
did.
almost. I can't wait to see that the next leap because it's there. Like it's there. He has the tools, the body, like everything is. It's there to take the next leap. And what I like about it is also I like you said we both agree RJ has another step, and I can't wait to see that step. Quickly has another step as well, right? Especially because it's different. You're told that you're the sixth man. Now you're the number one guy, and like
Ah,
you're the point guard now. We need you to be the point guard. And he said he's always wanted to be like a point guard,
oh
you know.
shit. This is what he's been waiting
Um,
for, huh? Oh shit.
right? So he's always wanted to be a point guard. Like he wants to average the 7 assists. Oh, speaking of assists, with the Raptors, they were on a streak of like NBA history of 25 assists per game. They hit 30 the last game, which they got beat by Rockets.
Okay.
The streak snapped, so they tied the Golden State Warriors on like the longest like streak of 30. Oh, sorry, 25 assists. So,
Serious.
yeah, shouts out to the. They passed
That
the
year,
ball.
Golden State was throwing dimes the whole year. They were just averaging like
They
how much is
passed the ball.
yeah.
The one thing I'll say they passed the ball. The last thing I want to mention real quick is I'll be on Twitter and I've listened to the Raptor Spaces sometimes, and like there's always constant like Pascal versus Scotty talk. Like I get people miss Pascal, and I miss Pascal a lot. But the one thing I just wanted to say like Scotty's not Pascal. Scotty's trajectory is bigger and better than Pascal's. If I'm honest,
It
like it is.
is. It
His
is.
future is brighter than Pascal's.
It is.
Um, and like we got to move past it. We can't. You can't compare Scotty year 3 to Pascal year 8. You know, you can only compare Scotty year 3 to Pascal year 3, and then they're totally different. Scotty's way better than Pascal year 3. You know what I'm saying? So it just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense that
Yes, I agree.
um that people do that. But all people do is like they compare them, and you just can't compare them.
Scotty is better than Pascal championship year season Pascal, right? You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right. Yeah, yeah. He's better than the 2019 Pascal. He's not
yeah,
better than beginning of bubble year Pascal. He's not
I
better
agree.
than
I
Pascal.
agree with that. I agree with
Um,
that.
and when like he's not better, like right now he's not better than Pascal because Pascal just has more in the bag. Like he's
He
just
does.
better at a few things. But Scott, it's not like Pascal's here and Scotty's here. They're darn near like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Pascal's this good, but Scotty's right there.
Close.
And
It's close.
I always knew that the third year it was when this was about to happen.
If
It
Scotty
just
can really bring the dribbling up to the next level
yeah,
in in year 4, then it's his playmaking is just gonna he's gonna feel more confident to play make. That's where
right.
I feel he has the dribbling. The tween pass off, if he knows he has that, because it's like Clay, right? If Clay can't really dribble like that, so but you know what I mean? So well, obviously Barnes can dribble better, but if he can next level,
It's there. That's the thing. Scotty's only like a little bit below a Pascal, if we really want to say. But Pascal just has the reps. That's it. It just comes down to it. Pascal just has more of the reps that Scotty just doesn't have at all, right? But Scotty's getting the reps, right? Pascal has the playoff reps. Scotty hasn't had. He's had one playoff rep, but like all that stuff is gonna come, and when it comes, it's gonna be good, right? I really believe in the Scotty, RJ, and Emmanuel quickly, but this week should be a fun week. A lot of trades we should expect should go down.
Thursday.
Well, we're hoping that trades. Sometimes nothing happens, so I'm hoping to be a little exciting.
It's gonna
Um,
stuff's gonna go down. I know
Especially
that.
I want to see like if I had to pick a team that I'm definitely curious what the Raptors are gonna do, and I want to see what like some of the contenders are going to do. Like, is Philly going to make any move? Is the Lakers like, what are they saying? Is Denver? What are they? What are, like? Do they want? Can they add? They really can't, but can they try to add? Right? What can they do? Can they upgrade? Can you make a blockbuster trade and trade Michael Porter Jr. to the Brooklyn Nets? I know I keep making Brooklyn Nets trades, but Brooklyn Nets for like Mikal and Cam Johnson, that easily they'll make them win. That That'd make them win everything. But yeah, could you do whatever? Like what? Let's see what can happen. Um, Anything you wanna before we walk off? Anything you want to talk about?
I think we'll see what the trade deadline says.
It'll be
I
fun.
feel like I want to see what Charlotte's gonna do. Who they want to put around LaMelo in the future, right? Because we know it's his team, and right. So I'm looking at what Charlotte's gonna do. You know what I mean, personally, and yeah, any other teams that I'm really Pelicans. I want to see if they're gonna move because they need a point guard, right? CJ is not the right fit for Pelicans point guard. So I'm looking at to me those two teams are who I'm going to be seeing if they make any moves, and yeah,
The thing is,
that's
the Pelicans are
obviously the Raptors too.
the that's a
Right?
perfect choice. With even to like end off the Pelicans is a great choice because I was driving thinking about like LeBron is not LeBron that he used to be. LeBron can carry anyone. We say it all the time. Zion has the talent to like lead a team to a title today. He just has it. Like he has it right now. He just doesn't show it every single day because he's not healthy every single day. But that team, you're right. That is a team that people should be like. They have the assets. They have the draft picks. They can make a splash if they really want to. Because no matter what, it's still wide open. You never know. Like there's Boston, there's LA, both LA teams. There's Denver. There's still Phoenix. Man, if you're right. They can get a point guard. I don't know what point guard they can. Even if they got Tyus Jones from Washington, it'll make them a lot better.
Actually, I agree with that. Yeah,
It'll
they're
make them
making
a lot better.
moves still.
So we have to
But
wait and
part of
see.
me is like, give the keys to Hawkins as the starting guard. Like,
but he's a gunner sometimes, and I'm thinking like,
He's definitely a combo too.
yeah, the Pelicans have to now be more organized. Like they have too much guys. This is all OKC is gonna have the same trouble like next year. They're gonna have too much guys that need to play. Right? I can name like 12 guys on the OKC
I
that
just
need
think
to go
that
play.
guard and that guard is gonna make everyone get the shots they need to get, like a real guard, not no combo, not
Right.
no,
That's
you
like even
know,
hockey, like they need a guard that's like,
right?
okay, I'll average 12 assists,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like they don't have that. Like they need that vet
You need
guard
like
that will
maybe
get
like
them
a
there.
Brogdon for
But
sure.
yeah, it's gonna be a fun week. This was episode 10 of the DM podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys keep, we're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna be more consistent as well. That was on me. We're gonna make sure we're more consistent as well. And just like stay tuned, man. Stay tuned for more. Raptors are they lost today, but it's okay. Moral victories, we'll say. Moral victories. And we're on the road to the All-Star game. It's gonna be fun. We'll talk more. Probably do an in-person podcast soon as well. Should all be good. Peace.